Hello everyone, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Holding Court with the Empress of West Hollywood. My name's Enoch Miller, your Empress of WeHo. And we're so excited to have you here today. Yes! We want to give a special thank you to our amazing sponsors and people who produce this every week, GayLifeLA.com. Awesome. As well to Kings Road Apartment Homes for the beautiful space you see here today. Thank you. Yes. One little piece of announcement business. Make sure everyone check out West Hollywood Magazine's page on Facebook because we're going to be having a WeHo Cutest Dog Contest event coming up April 7th from 12 to 3 p.m. over at the Just Food for Dogs lot over on Fairfax and Santa Monica. It's going to be a lot of fun for the winners to come and receive proclamations from the city of West Hollywood on the cutest dog for West Hollywood. And then everyone else to bring their pets and come mix and mingle and have some fun. It's going to be a pet lover's dream. So come out April 7th, 12 to 3. Yes. All right, and we want to have an amazing thank you to our super sexy special guest, Puscie Jones. Hello. And I'm going to be sorry and apologizing already because I'm going to be fucking giggling all day by saying pussy. So, you have been warned. Oh, pussy. Pussy, because I'm gay and I'm a gold star gay and pussy makes me giggle. So, we're going to get started from like the very beginning, from birth. Pussy.
From fresh from the pussy.
From fresh from the pussy, exposed to life. Yes. And you're originally an Oklahoma boy.
Yeah, Oklahoma City. Yeah.
Born and raised.
Born and raised.
Wow.
First 21 years of my life.
Oh, Jesus, bless your heart.
I know, right? Like I left because I was scared, and now going back, I'm like, I kind of appreciate it. It was like it's different.
It is different, and it has definitely grown up a lot since. I mean, years and years ago.
From since 1983 when I came out. Absolutely.
She popped right out.
Right on out in '83. Especially '83.
And what would you say is kind of the biggest difference between Oklahoma to Los Angeles in your perspective? Like, what would you say is the biggest, not necessarily separation, but kind of what makes it so distinct from Los Angeles?
Just perspective and just like everyone's motivation is completely different. Okay. You know, like Oklahoma is. The joke is like after the second question after your name is like, what church do you go to?
It's true.
So now here is like, what's your name? What do you do?
Right.
So it's just the way they approach people is different. But I think that's what trickles down to like what people think is so conservative because they're just so church first.
Yes.
Which would make that they're all good people though. That's like I'm not a religious. I'm a secular person, but. As long as you're good, you can believe in a table or a glass of water. Right. As your Messiah. As long as you're a good person, I'm good with you.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, I mean, you're very, very true. I mean, Oklahoma and Texas and that whole area is the buckle of the Bible Belt.
The buckle, the belt, buckle.
Right. They are right there with all of it. But for you growing up, I mean, in a fairly conservative community and everything with that, what would you say is like the one thing you look back on and say you were really just kind of grateful for Oklahoma for, and then one thing you're kind of just like, thank God I left.
Right. There's a lot of those. There's a lot of reasons why I left. I'm really grateful. It was a good place to foster, like just knowing what is good and what is to be right by people. Okay. Because people hold you accountable by how good you are to other people and they judge you on how good you are to people instead of like what you can do for them.
Right, exactly.
So it makes you just really like be honest with people and just be truthful and nice and that Southern boys, that Southern hospitality,
Yes.
And then that gets you burned sometimes, but it's fine. And I left because obviously when I let the rednecks and then the conservatives, like being a black man, black homosexual in Oklahoma with a military father, it's just like
yeah. Oof. That was the other kind of homosexual with living in Texas with a pastor father.
With a pastor, see the other side, you know what I'm saying?
I was the other side of tracks with the same shit.
The same shit. Oh my God.
And so, what for you really inspired you to get involved with music? Was that something that you grew up loving, or did it kind of develop as you got older?
My father's a singer. My grandmother is she played piano. But I was too insecure about singing and all that stuff, so I moved out to LA to be an actor. I was like, that was my thing. I was like, I'm the funny guy. I'm the funny guy. So and music kind of just fell in together. It was just a natural path. I just went with how the air was taking me. Here it is with music.
So let's talk about the acting because you've done actually a lot. You've done a lot, which I didn't realize for a lot of people. It's a lot harder to do acting than it is to actually be working on like set and doing crew and you actually have more opportunities to do stuff with that.
Right.
Did you prefer crew to acting or were they
No, I hated crew.
You hated crew.
Oh God, I went to film school and I tried to, every time they tried to teach us behind the camera, I always try to find a way in front of the camera. But that's why I was like, I went through film school but don't know shit about film. But I know how to I know how to do all that. Like, that's no problem. That's no problem at all.
And you've had a couple like really fun ones. Like my favorite one that you did was the one you kind of produced yourself. It was shit Samuel L. Jackson says.
Yeah.
And you were kind of running up and down Hollywood Boulevard, just saying shit
just
to
talking
people.
Shit. Yeah.
Was what really inspired that, or were you just like, I'm gonna fucking do this?
Well, yeah, it was just like it was at a point I was with my friend Nate, and it was like earlier me still trying to be a comedian of some sort. And he was like, the whole meme was going shit, blah, 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 says, everyone had one. He's like, no one's done a dude. He's like, you got big eyes. Like, you should, like, maybe we can do the Samuel Jackson. We got the Samuel Jackson. And I was like, fine, fuck it. So we just got in that way. He's like, just remember all the quotes and just go and just go. So he had the camera, and I just went and just started yelling at people. And then almost got stabbed. Almost got stabbed by the fat guy. I ended up winning. I ended up winning because of that. Because he had a racist joke just in his pocket. And he was like, I was like, why do... Step Out Fat Man something. He's like, you know why the black communities have so many trees? And I said, why? He said, for transportation. I was like, you son of a bitch. Like, you had that in your back pocket? Just wait.
I think it was waiting all decade.
All decade. He was like, thank God some black person talking shit to me. Like, wow.
And the other one I thought was kind of, again, it's still a little bit more comedy, but you did Treatment in 2011.
Yeah.
And it was... The character they had for you, quite frankly, I mean, fit you to a T with all of it. And kind of the one scene that was just quintessential you. You're in a parking lot, kind of you're in these roller skates, booty shorts, and this cute little, almost like a crop top, but not quite like a crop top.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, and these guys roll up, and they're like, so dude, you know where I can score some stuff? And you're like, okay, you come to the only black man out here on the street.
On some skates. Where am I going to hold some drugs? Right. I got booty shorts on and some skates. Where the hell did the drugs go?
But it was a little, it was a 50-50. Like, there were some serious parts in it, and then there were some parts that were just, straight up hilarious and shit. What was your favorite part doing something like that?
I like it because they just let me just go and just do. Because I'm a Gemini, so I got to look at both sides of that. Yeah. So, as just as funny as I can be just as serious at the same time. So I get to mix it together. Yeah, Gemini.
Just so y'all know, half the room is motherfucking Gemini.
That's right. We run the world.
No, only one of the 17 personalities of yours runs the world.
The rest too early for that.
Oh, that's true. That's them. I look at the other person. And then you did kind of a TV series that was actually before Treatment in 2010 called $5 Cover in Seattle. Yeah. And that was actually really intense on some parts. That I saw a couple episodes. I was just like, okay. And you had some really interesting love scenes in that too. Yeah. What was that like for you doing that, with being a little bit more intimate with someone on screen? Was it very comfortable to do, or were you kind of was it a little awkward?
It was awkward just because that was the first time my father was going to see my actual gayness. I've come out to him. And he has, he knows that things happen. Right. But now he's going to actually see me kissing a man.
On screen, right.
And so that's the only part I was worried about. But then that motivated me. I was like, well, if he's going to see, he's going to see me kiss the shit out of this motherfucker. I'm going to kiss the hell out of his mouth. So, yeah.
And he did.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
I was like, okay. And, I mean, you've done some other, you've done James, you've done Incident, you've done In Between. Yeah. I mean, there's a bunch of different stuff you've done. And through it all, what kind of was your favorite thing about being on screen? Because it is very different than producing music and being on stage. What would you say is your favorite aspect about doing acting and everything with that?
Because it's just different characters. So it's just different ways of expressing different parts of you. 'Cause we all have different layers to us, and so there's some part of all these characters that you can, hopefully you can relate to. And some might be empathetic in some sort, and just channel that side of you through that. It's interesting to see where you can take yourself if you allow yourself to go there.
And then on the opposite flip side, for music, what really drew you in to that? Since I mean, obviously acting, especially in Los Angeles, is a very competitive atmosphere with people around here. Everyone, their mom, their dog, and their turtle are fucking doing it.
And their turtles.
Yeah,
all of them.
It's scary. Yeah. But for you getting into music, kind of what were the circumstances that led up to that happening for you?
Just being just a character, just being Puscie Jones out. Well, actually, in my 7-7, my first band, I was just hanging out with them at the strip club at Cheetahs, because they had a show at Cheetahs. We got good old Cheetahs. Cheetahs to the church, baby.
Yes.
And we were sitting there at the end, tipping the girl that was dancing. She came, so y'all are a band, right? And so we were like, yeah. And then they looked at me and was like, do you sing? And I was like, I got a deep voice. I can just produce. I can do your bass parts if you want. Like, and they were like, sure. So then we just started. They were like, okay, go to rehearsal. And then we just started singing. And then they went off and did movies. And I was just stuck. I was like, well, you just lit a fire in my ass now. Right. So then it made me find a band, find musicians, and it kind of just forced me out there. And I had more satisfaction doing music than I ever had with acting. Okay. And it's just easier to reach. I come from a theater background, so it's like the instant gratification of being on stage is way better than filming and then waiting. Right. And hoping your shit doesn't get cut.
Right, exactly. It doesn't hit on the cutting room floor.
Right, exactly.
And you mentioned NY77. It was the first basically band that you had done
the birth of Puscie Jones,
yeah, the birth of everything with Puscie Jones. And for anyone who doesn't know, it's actually based on a documentary done in 2017 for VH1, and it's just it's a reminiscence of life in New York City during the 1970s, and it kind of chronicles all these different things like grime, the stuff with going on with the LGBT community and other things with that. And it's a huge, it's a really interesting documentary. I saw the preview, the extended trailer for it, and it's really interesting all the stuff they bring into it. And was the initial inspiration right off the bat was just like, yes, we want to do this, or was there something that influenced that you guys chose to do NY77?
Well, it wasn't really Nate Lee. He was the one that put the NY77 together. Okay. Yeah, he's very open minded. He's such forward thinking. So he was thinking during this time, 1977 in New York, all these things were coming to a head. Okay. Well, like hip hop was starting. Right. Rock was doing its thing. Disco was there. Punk music was in it. It was like music was everywhere. And all these different flavors were everywhere. And so he wanted to create something that represented that time, and that was NY77. And then I just happened to fall into there. Yeah. So they were together before I even went in there.
Oh, okay. So. And you were right. Just 1970s into the 80s. That was a convergence of everything music, and obviously you have these kind of quintessential people like Michael Jackson, like Prince, like Madonna, like Cher. All these people kind of came up and just became these presences and really formed what music is. For you as an artist, first starting out, who were some of your initial inspirations for music and what you kind of chose to model your style after?
Definitely it was Bootsy Collins. Okay. James Brown and Ike and Tina Turner.
I can definitely see the James Brown.
Yeah, that was the start of it.
When I first saw you on stage, that was the first name popped in my head, James Brown, and I really just love that presence. And it's also you have we were talking a little bit with Adam earlier, the fact that it's a Jagger waistline and body movements with a Prince persona.
I love that. Absolutely. I'll take that all day.
And James Brown's hair.
All day. I'll take all of that all day. Absolutely.
And so for putting all this stuff together and really kind of making up who the character that Puscie Jones is, obviously based on you and your personality, kind of lead us through how that inspired, first of all, the name, because I would love if that was your real name, Puscie, because that would have been fucking, realness.
I know.
How did you kind of come up with that persona? I'm not going to say character, because it's really not character, it's you, but that persona of yourself. I
don't even know how it came up. I got it, my friend, I went to a costume party with my friend, the incomparable drag queen Miss Imani Phoenix. Ooh. And she hooked me up, and so that was kind of the beginning of the style. Okay. And I just kind of rolled with it. I was like, this feels good. This feels like me, like a side I'm not expressing. Right. So I started doing that, and then started really getting into music. And one thing I wanted always was a whole group of people to just be yelling pussy in public. That's just because I think we put too much power and weight into words where they don't mean anything. So just something like that. I just wanted to desensitize that, and then so I had to make it into an acronym, change it all to make the point of we have to desensitize words and not be so sensitive to things.
And I really love the fact that you made it an acronym, and I'm going to read it for everyone so they know what it is. So it's the pursuit of uninhibited and stimulated core inside of everyone. So pursuit, uninhibited, and stimulated core inside of everyone. Pussy realness. Yeah. All right. And it's so interesting the fact that you made that from an acronym of everything like that. And the spelling obviously was very clever to play it just
Nickelodeon and Disney Channel will say pussy. Yes, they will. One day they will say pussy.
They will say pussy. Oh my god, I would love to see that so much.
I just want to say it.
And your style is very much like this kind of funk soul kind of collection of this energy from that that 70s kind of vibe of everything with that. Did you originally go into saying, yes, I want to do something based on this kind of genre, or were you kind of playing with it in the very beginning?
That was just like, it just fell into it. Yeah, it was like, that's why I wasn't even supposed to be doing music anyway. So it was just like going with, every time something changed, I just went with it, and it just, like, all this was gifted by the universe to me. So it's like, I just have to roll with it until it's time to do something else, you know?
And what would you say is the biggest, for you, the biggest either accomplishment, like that's, you're like, oh my God, like everything worked? Like, was there a moment where you're just like an aha moment, like, oh my God, this is fucking it?
It's just like a continuation of things that are happening. It just feels like the wave, like the show that you saw, that was like, it was good for me, and seeing the amount of people that came out to see us, and we don't have anything released yet. Like we recorded our album, we're still trying to finish it up, but we don't have any music released, and people are coming because I feel like I created a culture, and that makes me feel really good. That culture is now being fostered, and people are feeding into that, because I think the message is pretty important. So that's good.
Yeah, and I want to point out the fact that, for what you do as well, and the mantra you really have to people is love, and we're all here to be, like you said, good to one another.
Absolutely.
And I love the aspect of bringing in gay, straight, bisexual, transgender, all of it. Did you specifically go into the aspect of saying, hey, I don't want to specifically cloud the fact that, because you've been with women before, but I
consider myself a homo flexible. Like, I have my preference. I am.
Those feet touch the headboard, ladies and gentlemen. All the way back. All the way back.
No, so I have a preference. Like, I am carnally and emotionally attracted to men.
Okay.
But like, if it's gonna be just carnally, like, I enjoy being intimate with women, but I don't want to be with one. You know, so I just needed that. That's why I wanted all my music is very much open sexually. Like, let everyone know to be attracted to energy over aesthetics, because then the levels of satisfaction that you have are just so endless when you just allow the energies that you were attracted to dictate how you actually feel. Yeah. So I just tell everyone, it's like it's open season, just be good.
Yeah.
Just be just good people.
And it really, you pull in from such a broad demographic with people that enjoy your music, and then again the energy you put out there through what your theme is. And I really like the fact that, you are the epitome of the whole flower child movement evolved into 2018 of this whole free love and sexual expression, and especially our generation is really becoming gender fluid and everything with that. Right. And so, I feel like we're this whole new movement of the 70s and pulling it into this whole aspect of, again, free love, but again, not like gender specific to anything and anyone. Right. So for you going into this, and it's growing as big it is, and the fan base you have, what would you say is the funniest thing a fan's ever said to you, or the most passionate, I'm not going to say crazy, most passionate thing a fan has ever said to you in regards to who you are or your music?
Crazy or passionate shit, I don't know. Like, I have people say that I can't wait to make love to your voice. Like, that is a whole mind fuck. Love to your voice, right? I can't wait till you have a record out so I can make love to your voice. And that's just because I know the things I've done listening to other people. It's like the thing that can happen while my voice in the background is kind of like some mind fuck.
I just want to imagine, like, you like, as a spirit or some being of energy standing over there, just like swaying back and forth, saying like, "Yeah, boy."
Yeah. Just like it's just a school on top, and it's like, yeah. That's it. It's a trip. I love it though.
And it really is amazing because of the fact that you bring all these people in that, especially bringing straight people into the gay community. Sometimes it is very hard to do, but you do it in such a way that they enjoy it, they embrace it, and they find the fun in it all. What would you say has been your, I wouldn't say hurdle, but like biggest challenge to overcome to get where you're at today?
It's really just all on me. Like, just trying to get as comfortable as I am, and to be able to figure out a way to harness that is healthy, and then that's also not imposing anything on someone, but just like trying to ride the line of saying, this is where I like opening up minds and things. It's just trying to ride that line, because this can be real arrogant real quick. Like, it can seem arrogant really quick. So it's like that's still the thing. I'm always struggling with that, trying to learn a better way to be me and to express what I'm trying to express.
Got it. So it's like getting the message out appropriately.
Right, and but also making sure that I'm walking in that message that I'm trying to tell everybody. Like it's not being making a conscious effort to make sure you're not a hypocrite, and then that goes against everything I'm trying to do.
Right, we don't want to be a hashtag Donald Trump.
No, we don't.
And you actually have a really amazing record coming up here soon. You guys have just finished recording with everything, and it's in the process of being developed with art and a music video and all the fun shit that goes along with the building a record.
I can't wait.
And it's coming out hopefully this summer.
The summer, yeah. The whole album hopefully this summer. Hopefully a single will be coming out before that.
It'll come in like at least a month.
At least hopefully 2 months or something like that.
Yeah, and it's going to be called The Pursuit. What was the overall inspiration for that collection of songs?
Well, The Pursuit, like everything that we've been doing so far, all the songs are very much about being honest with yourself. So The Pursuit is about pursuing who you are and pursuing what satisfies you, pursuing what you want, how you want to be in this world. And so all the songs are kind of a collection around that, like don't be scared to dig into yourself and know who you are and at least know what you're capable of. Whether you want to do that or not, just know what you're capable of so you have control over it and it doesn't spark up for no fucking reason. Like you know how to harness that energy properly. So all this song's about like anyone that feels like they're not living their true truth. These are songs that saying it's okay, you know, like try it out. And truth, like Buddha always says, the truth is only experienced, it's never taught.
Right.
Like you have to go there and taste the water to know that it's water, you know.
Or it just could be like fire water. I mean, like I can vodka that shit all day. I mean, really. We were actually doing that earlier. Anyway, so for you, what is because I know artists have a very different process for each person, how they kind of develop their music. Do you write all your stuff?
Yeah, we do. Okay. Yeah, the whole band does.
The whole band that comes together. So how does that start? Does someone come up with an idea, a topic?
It's just something like we go to rehearsal and we say our warm ups. We're like, all right, let's just jam. It's like, does someone have a bass line? Does someone have a melody in their head or something? We'll start with that and then we'll just build on that. And if it sticks, like you hear it, you'll know soon if it's like, oh, this is good enough, and then we'll just develop it from there. Or it's just gonna be a warm up. So all of our songs have been written because we just jamming and warming up, and then it's just like, okay, I'm expressing how I feel today, and then it just ends up coming out.
So how do you guys kind of develop up? So I mean, it comes from all these different people because you have several. Like how many people in total now?
There's seven in the core, but there's eight.
Okay,
there's 8 to 9 that we perform with. Yeah.
So with getting all. And again, with that, especially with big groups like that, with getting all those personality types and all those different points
personalities,
of
view. Personalities.
Especially Queen Bee herself.
But I am Tamus.
Gemini, Tame.
Right.
But, and I mean, it's very hard to kind of make sure that everyone's voice is heard and everyone has their own opinion. How do you guys kind of delegate getting something put down and then it's going to be actually created into an actual part of the song for an album?
It hasn't really, like, the music part hasn't been too hard because we all hear music very similarly. Okay. So it's like we understand the choices that are made by a lot of people. But if it's something, we'll just tweak it. Like speak up. Like we always say, open up your mouth. This is yours as well. Like open up. If you don't like it, say something. But at the end of the day, it's Puscie Jones Revue.
Right.
So like, we'll fit. But we all trust each other.
Well, I mean, you guys have been working together long enough to
we're on our 4th year now.
Yeah, so kind of know whatever the sound is and kind of everything goes.
Right. We know how to communicate with them musically, which is great.
So how many of these songs from The Pursuit were originally inspired by yourself?
Let's see, Jonesin was by myself, Mama Jones, probably 3, 4, maybe, something like that.
And then in total there's 8 or 9?
There's 11 total.
Oh, there's 11 total.
11 total, yeah.
That was off. I can't do math, apparently.
Well, no, actually, like, to be fair to you, there was 9, and then we just decided the other day that we're adding 2 more. So, like,
okay.
Just to be fair to you. Right. I could have let you have it, but no, that's not you.
I can go. They changed my information.
They changed the information. Wow.
And so you've got this all together. You're putting it down for the album. I mean, it's the album's more or less done. I mean, it's ready.
More or less, yeah. We just got to get like mix mastered. Like,
right. All the fun stuff on the editing process and all the fun stuff.
All something I'm not really involved in. My part is done. Yeah, I have sang. Yes.
Have you guys done any of these, like as a teaser or anything for any of your fans at any of your performances yet?
No.
Okay.
No.
We want to brand new.
Yeah, it's all, yeah. I'm sorry, I heard that wrong. Yeah, you've heard the songs on live.
I thought I heard it. Last one.
We basically played the albums, added some other ones in there, that show that you saw.
Mm-hmm.
So. just let people know what's going on. And this is how we're coming out. So. Yeah.
And it's, I mean, for anyone who hasn't watched any of his videos or gone to any concerts, I mean, it just, you get everyone hyped in such a great way.
Good.
And then also he comes out running out there on stage, first of all, barefoot.
Yes, always.
90% of the time topless.
Yes.
And he's already sweating. Like, already, he is already wet on stage. Just like, yes, let's get it, just like jumping around. And I love the aesthetic of your energy you put out there that gets the whole crowd just revved up and already excited.
I love that.
And they, even before the curtains have come up, you hear his voice, are y'all ready for Puscie Jones? You want some pussy?
Yeah,
like,
pussy, right? Getting ready, yeah.
And it's just great. What is your process for, because it's different from obviously recording to actually being on there performing. Stage, right? What is your process for getting hyped for an event?
Shit, I mean, it's really just like my friend Patrick in Seattle. He always just say, you just got to give it, and like everyone's there to get their lives. That's the reason when I came here, because the energy that I give is to give it. Like I built the show, created the show with that high energy because that's what I needed at the time. I needed that high energy release, and so now that I'm doing it regularly, now I understand like how important it is. That's why they're here. Right. That's why I get to do what I do, because you're here to see that happen. Right. So just like, you know what, like, just do it. Like, you're a professional. Get up and do it.
And that and like 7 cans of Red Bull.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you want to be okay, fine. Yes. Just slam one back real quick. And I do love some red wine and whiskey. That also helps as well.
Ooh, red wine and whiskey. Yeah. Oh, that's an interesting combination.
I got my 4 W's. Like, keep them in order. Start the night off with weed. Then go to wine at dinner. Whiskey when you go out, and go home with some water. You have the best night of your life.
Oh, I like it. See, mine's like AAA. I have that when I wear heels. It's alcohol, Adderall, and Advil. Because then I'm ready to go for the night.
I know, that's right.
But it's true. I mean, I love again, it's that energy and persona you put out there that really gets people revved up for a show. We're going to play a quick clip from, I think it's from Johnson we're going to play real quick. Jonesin. That's Miss Johnson's the other one. Jonesin, and this is a really fun upbeat song, and I'm pretty sure you played it. Either the first or second song you guys.
Yeah, we played this one. Yeah. This one was in a McDonald's commercial too.
Oh, really?
Last year we were in a McDonald's, a McCafe commercial, $1 McCafe.
Oh yes. I could just see her like sipping and be like, yeah. Like, okay.
Yeah, they wouldn't say pussy on set. They wouldn't. Everyone had to say Mr. Jones.
I would love to say McDonald's to say Big Pussy.
Right? I wanted them so bad. They're like, no, Mr. Jones. I'm sorry, titties come out.
It's Mick Pussy.
Oh, it's all out.
Big Pussy. Big Pussy.
So we're gonna go from Jones and
Big Pussy, just a salty treat.
What? Sorry, Gold Star Gang.
You're ready.
Let me swallow first. Okay, so this is Jonesin from the Puscie Jones Revue.
Yeah.
Y'all fuck.
Y'all wanna know how to Jonesin? Jonesin whatever you want. As long as your mind is in motion, y'all. Show me whatever you got. You can do it easy, slowly. Just easy, holy. Don't you be afraid to show me.
And that was Jones about the Puscie.
Yeah.
And it's honestly what you do on stage.
I was in it. I was just transported back.
So have you, because you have done a plethora of different locations to perform at, have you had any crazy stories from something, like you go to there and the event was just like, oh, you're supposed to be here tonight, or like you jumped off something and there wasn't a stage behind you to jump off of? What hasn't happened?
Right. I mean, nothing like that. I've had plenty of wardrobe malfunctions that have caused malfunctions that have caused concern. They were like, we want you back, but please next time, no dick. We just can't have dick. Just no dick.
Oh, wait. Was that one of the ones where you're wearing the long shirts and it was just, there was a little peekaboo? Yeah, I saw that video. I saw that video.
Just no dick. It's like, because I just try to wear like everything's like super tight and super short.
Right.
And so sometimes like I'm high energy. Sometimes things just don't stick.
No.
Something
She has Janet moments all the time.
Right, right.
Oh, that fell out.
Well, oh, they fell out again. Oh my god. Oh, okay.
And also, I mean, because you are so into what you're doing at the moment. I mean, it's you, the band, and just that. Like you're not really paying attention to anything else other than having fun at the time. So I can see that.
Yes.
Now I remember we're gonna end up loving it.
Right. Those black shorts were an issue. My manager has banned me. He said you can never wear those black shorts again.
Oh really?
And then my friend sent me a video. He said this is proof of the smell. I was like, oh my god, that was such a bad one.
You should see his face right now. He's like,
that was a bad one. Yeah, no. We're keeping it together.
Besides Pursuit coming up here in the next couple of months, is there anything else that you have kind of in the queue planned for the next steps for Puscie Jones? I know you guys are kind of refining some of your venue choices. You're kind of making really calculated choices as to where you guys are going to be doing stuff next. Is there anything else we can look forward to?
I mean, we're just trying to figure out. We have I have a company called Eat. There's Everything Art Taste, which is it's an immersive culinary night where because I'm a very good chef as well. A lot of people know that. Is where I cook a 7-course meal. Then we have Baby Dynamite that sings with me, has a lessons in libations, and then we have live art and stuff happening. So it's an all immersive night. So yeah, that's what else I got going besides music right now. I'm trying to finish this album, just ready to get the album out so we can start touring again. Ready to get on the road. Because Middle America loved us when we went there, so I just want to go back there and give them some life again.
So like Middle America, like straight up,
like
Midwest.
Lawrence, Kansas, Oklahoma City. Lawrence, fucking Kansas was great.
Really, again, we still live in Kansas City, so I've been in Lawrence many times, mostly for the college boys. But so I mean, I can totally say because I mean it is a very young demographic up there, and you have so many people again from all over the place for college. What was your favorite experience in Lawrence?
It was when we were performing at Replay Lounge. We had
Replay.
You know Replay Lounge.
Oh yes.
Could you dance there?
Oh yes. Replay.
Maybe.
See Replay, they don't have Red Bull there. They have something called Dragon.
Yes.
That is like you know what I'm talking about. It's literally like Secret of the Ooze type stuff. And we were just on a good one, so we were all on that Dragon going. But what was great was what surprised me was the amount of gender bending that was happening.
Really?
They were upfront. They were getting their lives. And one Timothy Chance came up to me and said, this we don't get anyone that represents like the androgyny and and just being free and accepting of yourself. And I realized like during that time I'm thinking of young Puscie Jones of like. Not having that,
right?
It was good. It was a great reminder that I'm doing something positive. I'm up there having fun talking about sex and everything, but there's a bigger, there's overarching message, an overarching thing that's happening.
And I do like it because your gender bending isn't in your face. It's nothing like you're going up in crazy drag or anything like that. It's more like you come out with like a really sexy like lace long nightie, like things like that. And I mean, I do agree. There isn't so many people that can come out to some of these Middle America areas where they have someone as an inspiration to look up to for that. And it is it's nice that you can actually have someone come and be like, hey, I really appreciate who you are.
Right, which is very, it felt really good.
It's very much like that Prince aspect of what you put off. And I mean, Prince was very in that line of like...
Definitely that line, right? When the straight men are like, oh, they start questioning themselves, like, I just looked at your ass a little too long. Yeah, absolutely.
That was a little too cute.
Real too cute.
And so, so excited for you guys going to be touring here soon. Yeah, I know you guys are getting a lot of like stuff lined up for the future here too as well. Of interviews and shows and all this stuff.
These festivals, man.
That's the biggest thing in festivals. Do you have a favorite festival you guys have gone to in the past, or
we did the Oregon Eclipse Festival during the eclipse, and during the eclipse moon, that was every last bit of thing. It was like we did 4 shows in 4 days.
Wow! And
then we were just going. It was on a Symbiote. It was a boat that was right on the river. And, this is pre-Burning Man, so it's right before the Burning Man starts happening.
Right.
So everyone is just free and open, and it's the whole energy was on an Indian reservation, and with the moon is all these. It just felt right. The energy, everyone's on the same page, and it was just great.
Is it kind of like Burning Man, where you guys were all out, not necessarily like in a desert, but in
a field, like
random
field, okay. Like just I don't even know how I would get out of there. It's just a random field with this lake. Like I just hope nothing. If the Armageddon happened now, where are we going? Like I don't know which way is north. Like where are we going? So, but that one was amazing.
Just like
no. But it was great. That was a great festival. So I want to do more like that.
Okay, so something more like that. Is there anything you're like kind of searching for to do here coming up that's for 2018 that you're like, I want to do this?
Well, we got the NPR Tiny Desk that we've submitted. So like that's the one thing that we have right now in the short term of this year. Like we would just want to win that. And if we don't win that, it's like we want to be the exposure that comes along with it. I think will help us out tremendously to gear us up for the tour that we're trying to do in June.
So so is there something like people can vote for or anything like that for?
Yes,
you
if
guys?
you I don't know if they can vote. I don't know if it's at the voting part yet, but they can see it on the NPR Tiny Desk website.
Okay, so go to NPR Tiny Desk. We'll also add it to the description. I'll get it from his manager, Adam. That way we can have it
Puscie
there.
Jones Revue.
Yeah, so go in there and check it out, and when the time comes for voting, we'll help promote that out as well. Be like, get your asses out there and
get
vote.
on out and vote.
Vote!
Please!
Especially that for NPR, because I mean, that'd be a huge gig for that shit.
Huge gig. Like, it's like Team Tank and the Bangers, we went and saw them live, and it was a huge inspiration. It was like, yo, it can happen. Like, why not? Shout out to the Breaks and Swells. Those are my friends that got second place last year. That out of Seattle. Just want to give a shout out.
Congratulations, you guys. Yeah. Oh yeah, because you're Seattle as well.
Yeah. You know.
So honestly, I just thank you so much for being here and everything you've done with us. Final thing of advice I'd like to get from you for the young potential Puscie Jones that might be out there.
Yes.
Is there anything you can say for them that you might have even told yourself maybe 10, 15 years ago, getting started and everything with this, coming out to LA and doing all this stuff with that? What kind of advice you would give to yourself or someone younger like yourself that would that you could say, hey, don't ever give up, or like something inspirational? An Oprah moment.
A little Oprah moment. One thing I always say is like just be honest with yourself and be accepting of what your honesty reveals, and try to understand it. Just try to understand yourself, especially coming out to LA, because you can fall into a whole bunch of pockets that can just take you way far away from where you would think you were going to go. But I think if you just stay real honest with yourself and figure out within that your own power, then just know who you are, man. Or just be on a journey to find out who you are. Like, we're all in the process always, but at least be in the process.
Yeah, and I mean, we've had a lot of people on here that have said almost the exact same thing. Know your truth, live your truth, be your truth. Just whoever you are meant to be, enjoy it and embrace it. Exactly. So we want to just say thank you so much for coming to be our guest today. You were fantastic, Puscie Jones. Go check them out on their online, PussieJonesRevue.com. Yes, and it's not review spelled how you think it's.
No, we're not reviewing papers. This is a stage, so it's REVUE. PUSCIEJONESREVUE.com.
And also on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube.
The YouTube.
Facebook. All of it. Yeah. I already said Facebook. Whatever. So check them out on that. Puscie Jones Revue and all. Thank you again to GayLifeLA.com for everything they've done for us. Kings Road Apartment Homes. And check out WeHo's Cutest Dog Contest event next week, April 7th, 12 to 3. We're going to end up with Puscie Jones, ladies and gentlemen.
Wakanda forever. Wakanda forever. Yeah, that's